The overall economic impact for 1 year in Rutherford County is $385 million, and the TSSAA Spring Fling contributes $3.5 million every year towards those numbers.
Welcome to Insider, the official podcast for the city of Murfreesboro. I'm Mike Browning. Our topic today, Spring Fling, returning to Murfreesboro and Rutherford County. These are 4 days of high school sports championship events. Our guests are Barbara Wolke, Vice President of Rutherford County Convention and Visitors Bureau, and Thomas Laird, Assistant Director for the Murfreesboro Parks and Recreation Department. We thank both of you for joining us.
Good morning.
Thanks
for having
Mike.
us.
Thank you.
Well, Spring Fling is back, and hotel rooms are booking, and the economic impact of this on Murfreesboro and Rutherford County is significant. What is the impact?
Yes, Mike. Actually, the overall economic impact for 1 year in Rutherford County is $385 million, and the TSSAA Spring Fling contributes $3.5 million every year towards those numbers. Approximately 30,000 spectators, coaches, fans, and athletes will come into the area, and cash registers are ringing at our hotels, restaurants, and attractions. And what this means for the residents of Rutherford County, of course, we'll have more traffic. However, each household in the county sees a tax relief of $289.77 every year because of tourism. So if tourism went away, each household would pay an additional $289.77 every year.
So if you're out there and maybe you complain a little bit about sports events in your community, there's a reason to be supporting it right there as the tax benefit to the normal person.
Absolutely.
Rutherford County, has been the destination for this for some time now, several years. Why is it the perfect place for it?
Well, location is very important. Murfreesboro and Rutherford County is located in the exact geographic center of the state, so it's an easy drive for most cities in the state. Also, sports facilities. We have top-notch sports facilities here with the Richard Siegel Soccer Complex, Adams Tennis Complex, our local high schools, and other venues. The county features over 55 hotels and 5,500 hotel rooms, so lodging facilities, of course, are important, and we have the experience in hosting TSSAA Spring Fling. We have the hotels, we have the facilities, and over 400 restaurants to delight every taste, so we certainly have the facilities required.
Thomas, you've worked on this for a long time with Parks and Rec. And I wondered, for the folks that might be listening outside of our community and they don't know Spring Fling, what is that? What is it?
Well, Spring Fling is an Olympic-style event. It's a culmination of 5 spring sports that are offered in high school. And so the state championships are held together every year for Spring Fling, which is here in Murfreesboro. And those sports include track and field, baseball, tennis, soccer, and softball.
So how did all this get started? I assume the association came up with the concept, but maybe fill us in a little bit about that.
The former director, Ronnie Carter, started Spring Fling. He had a vision of it, and the first year was held in Chattanooga, and then it went to West Tennessee to Memphis, and then Murfreesboro had the opportunity to bid on it, so it came here to Murfreesboro in 2006. 2006. So we're on 15 years of Spring Fling.
So that's a sign that they apparently like Murfreesboro.
Absolutely, they love Murfreesboro, and after so long, the Parks and Recreation Department provides 3 of those sites. The tennis at the Adams Tennis Complex, softball is held at Starplex and McKnight Park, and of course soccer is held at the Richard Siegel Soccer Complex. So being city facilities, these are the top facilities in the state to be held. So that's a big plus for Murfreesboro and its citizens.
So from a detail perspective, Thomas, what all do you have to do to get prepared for this and those facilities?
Well, now, we first started, there was a lot of prep, and our maintenance guys do a wonderful job of maintaining the fields and the playing surfaces throughout the year. So not a lot different in terms of preparing the actual playing surfaces, but of course we're having large crowds come in, so additional seating, then we've got parking and traffic concerns, so we have to bring in not only a lot of city staff, but also our volunteers so that we can create a good experience for those coming in to visit.
And Barbara, how many volunteers are involved? Obviously, that takes a lot of people to run this.
It does, actually. It truly takes all of our partners working together to coordinate over 1,000 volunteers and guarantee the success of this event. I would like to thank all of our partners, the City of Murfreesboro, TSSAA, Murfreesboro Parks and Rec, MTSU, and all of our CVB sponsors and the high schools, along with their booster clubs. It truly is a group effort to roll out the red carpet for this event.
What are the types of things that volunteers do for this event?
Well, it's a little different this year. Instead of selling tickets, of course, due to COVID, they will be validating tickets on pre-sold tickets via the smartphones of spectators. There are also gate worker volunteer positions, hydration volunteers. It's important to keep the athletes hydrated. And many volunteers will be assisting with meals for the officials, TSSAA staff, and media.
Now, we've had some improvement in the pandemic, and so masks aren't required as stringently as they were, but obviously there's probably some kind of guidelines that you have to follow. What are some of those for this event?
Well, some of those guidelines, of course, unvaccinated spectators are encouraged to wear masks. There are no capacity limits at this time at the venues, but TSSAA is monitoring capacity by the pre-sold tickets. And in past years, one ticket would get you into all of the venues, but now you purchase a ticket at each site. So they are monitoring the capacity through that.
Speaking of that, so are you able to go to the site the day of the event to purchase a ticket?
Actually, they're all pre-sold on GoFan, which is the largest online high school ticketing system in the U.S., and you can find that on TSSAAsports.com. There is a link there where you can purchase tickets.
Thomas, why is Spring Fling so good for Murfreesboro itself, in addition to the economic benefit?
Right. Well, of course, obviously, we have the economic impact and the benefits that brings. But after 15 years of state tournaments, these athletic playing surfaces become hallowed ground. We actually have some players that competed for a state championship have come back and actually coached, or we're getting to the point where some of those players come back to watch their own kids play. And once you create that atmosphere, the standards remain very high for those playing surfaces. The good thing for Murfreesboro is these are the same fields that our recreational soccer is playing on. These are the same fields our recreational and travel ball teams play softball. Of course, the Adams Tennis Complex, the general public has access to that. Murfreesboro citizens have the opportunity to become members there. So playing in these world-class facilities for our citizens is their day-to-day routine. So that's a huge perk. The fact that the maintenance staff do such a wonderful job of maintaining them through the year certainly makes that a benefit for our citizens.
And this is a chance at Spring Fling to see some of the local athletes that you follow maybe during the year, and you want to see them again, but in championship competition.
Absolutely. Every year we have multiple teams from Rutherford County. We're a very sports-rich community. So we have local athletes competing every season. I think Central Magnet School has made it in soccer this year. Of course, they go in tennis, and we have several other high schools that have qualified for various championships. So it gives it a chance for us to go watch our local athletes. And as we all know, we have a lot of athletes that go on and play beyond high school from Rutherford County.
Yeah, because the competition here with the high schools in Rutherford County has gotten so significant that a lot of these players do play Division I sports.
Absolutely.
And, you can see them in action here before they go to that level.
Right. Well, it's been said that the district here in Rutherford County, because there's so many high schools and the level of play is so high, it's one of the most competitive districts for the 3A within the state. So teams that advance through the district, oftentimes we see them here at Spring Fling for that state championships.
And talking about coaches too, what is it about Murfreesboro that the coaches seem to really appreciate about the community as well?
A long time ago when we decided to do Spring Fling, we had great leadership that impressed upon everybody involved the importance of creating a good experience. And so all of our volunteers, our staff, everyone involved in Spring Fling, even the CVB board that meets throughout the year, quarterly. The emphasis is on creating a good experience for those visitors, and the hospitality that the restaurants and the local citizens and people don't seem to mind the extra traffic. They embrace it, and they try to create a good experience for people, and that's why they want to come back year after year, is that hospitality they experience.
Which is a reminder to those who are listening that are from the community. If you're trying to book a restaurant this week, you might just be aware that it may be loaded with athletes and their coaches. Barbara, what about the information? I think we talked about GoFan, but where can people follow information, and what's the best way to get connected, I guess?
Yes, digital tickets can be purchased at TSSAAsports.com, and there's also live scoring and brackets that will be available on there, and some of the championships are streaming, and there's links for streaming on that website as well.
So you can actually watch some of the events, and some of them might be restricted, I don't know, but
Right.
But you can actually watch some.
Yes.
I think it's NFHSnetwork.com is where you can go watch the championships.
Let's talk about where the events are taking place, because they're not just taking place at the three places that Thomas mentioned that are part of the Parks and Rec system, but at other locations throughout Rutherford County.
Right. Actually, there's eight high schools. The entire Division II tournaments will be held at Middle Tennessee Christian School and Wilson Central High School. And then the championships that were previously at MTSU, the baseball championships, will be held at Blackman, Siegel, and Oakland High Schools.
So each year, some of this changes to some degree based on circumstances or facilities.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Let's talk about the Tennis Adams complex a little bit, Thomas. That's a great facility, and the tennis is being played there.
Absolutely. That really is a world-class facility. We partnered with MTSU, and that's where MTSU plays their home indoor matches, and it's been a wonderful partnership. But the ability to maintain those courts and keep that facility to be such on a level that college tennis can play certainly is a plus and adds to the environment that's created for Spring Fling. There's not a lot of tennis complexes like Adams Tennis Complex within the state, much less the region. So being able to come to a regional or a national recognized facility is got to be a good experience for the kids, and certainly makes for good tennis.
I know they had the fan viewing up on the second level for the tennis facility. Is there anything that fans should know that are going to watch some of the tennis competition?
Well, going in, be patient. It is getting through. We try to funnel everyone through the same gates. So it moves along. If you see a line, don't be perplexed. It only takes a moment to get through to verify that we have the right people coming through. But carry some water. It's going to be hot out. There should be water stations throughout the tennis complex. But we try to do everything we can to make this as comfortable, not only for the athletes and coaches, but also for the fans.
I guess before we wrap up, one thing we should address, and maybe both of you can address this, is the parking, because everyone always wants to know if they're going to the event, what's the best way to park, how do I navigate that? So let's talk about that a little bit.
Yes, parking is $5 per car, of course, and each site will have parking passes available, and so they will purchase their parking tickets when they arrive. And I also wanted to mention, Mike, that all of the track championships are held at Rockville High School that were previously at MTSU.
And that's down Highway 99 for those who may not know or are not from here. Rockville High School is there. And
right, it's a beautiful facility, brand new school, so it was a good choice to host these.
For track and field. Okay. And anything else, Thomas, that you want to mention in terms of parking or the way that's navigated at some of your facilities?
Well, parking at all locations, we have people directing traffic, directing parking. Just be conscious when you come into the parks or when you enter the facilities. They're going to direct you to the best place to park and the best area. So if you can work with them, that keeps the flow going and keeps things moving. But I encourage everyone to come out. It's really exciting, particularly when you get to Thursday and Friday when we start having those championship games, and the state title is on the line. It's wonderful competition, a good spirit, and just an electric atmosphere.
So this all starts Tuesday, the 25th, but then the championships are later in the week.
Right. Soccer in particular, we'll have the private school championships on Thursday, and then public school championships will be on Friday. Softball championships will start Thursday afternoon, with Friday being the if games. And then tennis also will start. They have both the team and the individual competitions, and they'll begin Thursday evening and Friday.
And the weather looks pretty good, Barbara.
Chamber of Commerce weather.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Obviously, it's going to be great. Well, thanks to both of you for joining us to talk about Spring Fling, which is back, and hotels are booking up, and they probably are booked for the most part in Murfreesboro. So thanks again for joining us.
Thanks for having us, Mike.
Thank you.
For more information, spectators are encouraged to call TSSAA at 615-889-6740 or visit TSSAA.org. Barbara Wolke and Thomas Laird have been our guests for this edition of The Insider. We've been highlighting the TSSAA Spring Fling, originating this podcast from City Hall. Thanks for listening. The Insider via Podbean, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Amazon Music Audible. You can also watch The Insider on YouTube. Our producer is Michael Nevels. For more information on the fast-growing city of Murfreesboro, visit www.murfreesborotn.gov. Insider is the official podcast for the city of Murfreesboro. I'm Mike Browning. Thanks for joining us.